Hi, today we're going to do a lesson on a fall folk art landscape. A folk art landscape has everything to do with perception that is more flat instead of little things being larger in the foreground and much smaller in the background. Um, as you can see, there was a witch in the sky that was the same size or even bigger than the witch in the foreground. And so it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it has this look of a very whimsical, fun feel. It's something that I just love every time I see folk art. It brings this feeling of like childhood to me, I guess. I feel like I'm remembering fall in elementary school, and I'm not sure what it is about this that I just love, but I started making some paths and that just led to different hills and rolling hills with pastures, pumpkin patches, cornfields. You can do all kinds of things. You can add barns, churches, homes, haunted houses. It doesn't have to be Halloween themed. It can be very fall themed, or with both. So I chose one with both. And I used alcohol markers. I don't think that I use them in a sense that alcohol markers are really supposed to be used for. I didn't do a ton of blending, but I felt like this was the easiest way to show you a very quick tutorial on how to plan out a folk art piece. You can do this for any season, lots of different scenes. I'm going to post my Pinterest board that has tons of fall folk art that I pinned that you could take a look at, and you can steal some ideas from there, but try to make it your own. Um, I looked at a couple of things, but came up with this very much on my own. There were a few ideas. So I have a little graveyard going, a pumpkin patch. Um, so it's kind of a little witch town. I have some ghosts coming down the road. I have a barn. Um, a little mini haunted house. I want to do a haunted house and a Halloween trick-or-treater scene in a upcoming lesson. So I didn't focus a lot on close-ups of detailed scenes of trick-or-treaters and Halloween themes. So I just wanted just a quick, fun picture that when you look at it, it includes lots of festive feelings that you get when you think of fall. So um, this took a little longer than some of my other tutorials actually. I probably spent almost an hour and a half just because I had to plan my sketch and then there's just coloring. And I didn't have a huge array of colors to choose from, so I just did the best that I could. You could absolutely do this without alcohol markers. You can just do this with regular markers. If you have the time and feel like it, this is a great acrylic painting. I do have plans on making a very fabulous large scale folk art fall slash Halloween painting for my home to hang up for my kids to enjoy and my grandkids eventually for years to come. I think that will be really fun. So I just went in and where you can see that I have some highlight, that's a silver alcohol marker, but if you have some dark areas that you are like, darn, I really need something light to go over that, again, use those Posco paint acrylic paint markers and you could go over that. So if you don't want to spend the money on using Posco for the whole thing, you could use the cheaper, and these are cheaper alcohol markers. I do not buy the really expensive kinds. I have like the Hobby Lobby, Ross kind, and they do the job. So just finishing your details and just give it some character. Think of all the things that you enjoy about fall and put them in your picture. And there are no rules to this, and you don't even have to worry about perspective. Your perspective can be totally crazy and off. It's a very flat image these rolling hills. You just see everything all at once. Your eyes just go to the whole thing. Have fun.